Thank you. Welcome. This is the September 17th meeting of the Sandusky Landmark Commission. Quinn, will you please call the roll?
Ellie Dyer,
Here.
Daniel Frederick,
Here.
John Felter,
Here.
Alan Griffiths,
Here.
Jeff Crable,
Here.
Louis Schultz.
All right, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Schultz cannot be here. Can I have a motion to excuse him, please?
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to Dan Frederick to the commission. We appreciate you coming and joining us and bringing your expertise, which we've been slightly light on from, as most of the rest of us are enthusiastic amateurs. But welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Are there any questions on the minutes? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I
Okay.
should probably abstain. Wasn't here.
There we go. Okay. All right, we'll move on. I think we have just one order of business. So Adam, if you'd like to go ahead.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So our application today is for 233 Jackson Street for alterations on the existing first floor facade and a second story addition for a non-contributing building at 233 Jackson Street. This application was submitted by Fike Architecture on behalf of the owner, GMA Asset Management Group, LLC. So here's where the property is situated relative to Jackson Street, outlined in red. And then next, on the left-hand side, you can see a bird's eye view of where this is located in our historic district, the southwestern corner. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see it labeled as the old, correct me if my pronunciation is wrong, Beilstein Company building, Belstein. And so like I mentioned, it's a non-contributing building. Moving on the left-hand side of this slide is an existing condition elevation of Jackson Street. You can see the blue columns, support beams. Then moving on to the right-hand side of the slide is the southern elevation and northern elevation from the sidewalk, respectively. Last two elevations here, top is a zoomed out version and bottom is zoomed in. On the zoomed in version, you'll note what looks like a garage building. And that's the last we'll talk of it today because it's not part of the scope of work, but it is on the property just for reference of its scale from the street level. All right. Before we get into talking about the proposed work for each elevation, just three general notes for all of the elevation plans. One is siding. You'll see dark and light red colors, or shades of red. To our knowledge, that's been exaggerated a bit to just show the distinction between existing and proposed structures. That siding material that will be used is the color called Cabernet Red, which is the Everlast brand siding, which is an inorganic product designed to mimic the look of wooden batten board siding. Windows, we will talk about how many existing window and door openings on the first floor will be altered. And that it should be noted that the proposed windows for both floors will have a consistent visual theme in terms of size, style, and material. And then all downspouts and gutters will be replaced with new white Gibraltar bonderized aluminum gutters. All right, first is the one we can see from the street, the existing.
Adam, could I just?
Yes, absolutely.
Just given the amount of information here, I think if anybody has a question as we're going along, feel free to jump in and ask rather than save them all to the end, if that's okay with you.
Totally fine.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, just interrupt me, no problem. So for the eastern or front elevation from Jackson Street, we have a before on the right-hand side, the existing, and a proposed after on the left-hand side. I'll show that again before we're through with this. This has a lot of work to describe. First we're gonna go first floor to second floor for each elevation. First floor involves repainting the underside of that canopy, the color bisque, and the blue steel support beam in the middle to be black. Second is replacing the existing multicolored mosaic tile finish with Bridgeport blend color brick veneer from the Belden Brick Company. Moving on, the applicant also proposes altering the existing window and door openings by replacing them with a new commercial door with a clear anodized finish and steel replica windows from Graham. And they propose adding an ADA ramp and small staircase to the front entrance, as well as the addition of a bike rack. You can see on the right-hand side that the railing material is proposed to be metal and the color is black, circled. So there's another before on the right, after on the left. On the second floor of this elevation, applicant proposes setting the building addition, I believe even with the existing parapet walls, it might be just behind, but at any rate, the new facade will provide one window aligned with the proposed door on the first floor below. That window will allow sunlight to enter into the hallway of the apartment complex on the second floor. As part of this project is transient rental units, 4 of them on the first floor, and 6 apartment units on the second floor addition. Okay, any questions before I move on to the next elevation? Okay. The western elevation, or the rear side of the building, is pictured on the first floor. The applicant proposes covering 2 existing window openings and 1 existing overhead door opening with drywall and composite siding. And as a note, anytime I say covering or partial covering, it's just presumed that it's whatever the appropriate wall assembly is for, building code, but our understanding, just for reference, is drywall with siding over it. The overhead door opening will also have a new window placed in it to allow light to enter the new transient rental unit behind it. Second floor on this elevation, you can see the darker right and left sides of that image are the back of 2 residential units. The existing central part of the building will contain an elevator and a staircase to help residents move throughout the building. Any questions? Okay. The north side of the building, this elevation and the next one, the south, which let's go to the north first, are pretty similar. So on the north side, on the first floor, the applicant proposes filling 2 existing window openings with custom windows with a metal frame and creating 1 new door opening with a concrete stairway, which you can see on the bottom right of that image. The applicant also proposes covering part of the 5 existing window openings, 1 existing loading bay opening, and the complete covering of 1 existing window opening. On the second floor, we will see that 7 of the windows match the size of the smaller windows on the first floor, and that 6 of those 7 windows are aligned with each other horizontally, creating a consistent rhythm. The rightmost window is partly elevated because it's the building staircase. So moving on, any questions on that elevation? Okay. South side elevation. First floor, again, it's similar. Applicant's proposing covering part of 7 existing window openings with 2 existing doorways and completely covering 4 existing window openings. On the second floor, the south side of the building addition is visible here, and this is going to mirror the north side window placements with 6 windows at 2 per unit, all being aligned in the same size. And a quick note, if we look at this slide, the red rectangle, and then just to the right of that is a zoomed in of the existing roof line and cornice. It's important to note that the second story windows will overlap with the existing cornice and roof line so that it sits on both planes of the new and existing walls. But the applicant expressed to us that they're going to do their absolute best to preserve the parts of the cornice and roof line that don't need to be touched to help keep that, any remaining historic integrity past the facade intact. Any questions on that elevation? Okay. Just for reference, this was a lot more legible and provided in your packets, but here's the first floor plan where we see the 4 transient rental units and the staircase on the left side of the image or the rear of the building. And then here's the second floor plan, 6 residential units with 2 windows per unit.
Just one question on that.
Yes.
Going back to the extreme left at the rear, that lower roof, is the intention to make that into an outdoor living, like a deck or some sort?
I believe, yes, that's the long-term intention, but for this particular scope, yeah, it's not part of this project.
Understood.
Yeah, this submission. All right, staff analysis is in two sections. We've talked about some of this. So we can go to number 3, which is that the guidelines state that new uses should adapt to existing window or door openings, not the other way around, and that filling should be avoided. However, those guidelines do also state that if those existing openings are filled or altered, they should be as reversible as possible so that the opening may be used again in the future with minimal work. And 4, simply put, staff believes that by doing a combination of drywall and composite siding, that is much more reversible than filling it completely with brick, which more complies with our guidelines. 5, all proposed alterations will make the texture of the building more consistent and by extension harmonious with the character of the historic district. So that's first floor. Second, again, it's for new residential apartments. Addition will have a flat roof and the exterior will be visually distinct compared to the existing structure, which are both guideline requirements. Bullet point 3, the new windows, as we discussed, will overlap with the existing first floor cornice and roof line, which will be preserved to the extent possible. 4, the new windows will match the style and rhythm and symmetry of the new windows on the first floor. 5, proposed siding designed to mimic wood, which is common in the district for other non-contributing buildings. This commission just fielded a case for that with EIFS finished for stone. And 6, these elements will create a design that reflects elements typical of other residential properties in the district and will comply with the design guidelines. Second to last slide, thank you. I know this is dense. Other departments' comments, which were already forwarded to the applicant. One's from engineering staff, which they just gave a heads up to the owner, said that if the plan, and that's an if, it's ever to stop using the existing turnaround at the east or front elevation on Jackson Street, city would be interested in reclaiming public on-street parking spots in front of the building. Building staff had 2 comments, both pretty standard, or the first is standard. One is all contractors must be licensed with the state of Ohio as may be applicable and must be registered with the city of Sandusky prior to starting work. 2, a chief building official noted that due to the building's previous use as a laundromat, it is likely that environmental cleanup will be required as part of the change of use process. However, a phase 1 environmental review will be necessary to determine this. Again, outside of this board's scope, but just for the sake of thoroughness for the applicant mostly. Okay, so staff recommends granting a certificate of appropriateness for the proposed work at this location with the following conditions. 1, all applicable permits are obtained through the building department, engineering department, planning division, and any other applicable agency prior to construction. Thank you.
I have a few comments if you're not
Yes,
tired
sure.
of hearing from staff yet. Adam, do you mind putting the south side facade
Sure.
on the screen? I appreciate it. So I think in this image, it's really obvious to see what Mr. Panis was mentioning with the exaggerated detail and color.
Yeah.
So that lighter red is existing and the darker red is the proposed siding. It'll match a lot better in reality, obviously. I just want to make sure that was clear. I also want to mention when their first draft of this proposal had smaller windows that would certainly be more economical, more convenient for them, and with staff's comments on what the guidelines are asking for, that the windows be more designed according to the warehousing look and feel of the original construction, and that they take up more of the original openings. They brought back this proposal with much larger windows, so we really appreciated that they did that, and that helped us get comfortable with supporting the project. So I want to mention those 2, and then if you wouldn't mind showing the front facade.
Sure.
They also were amenable to keeping the tile that's there now, and we discussed that the existing elevation, this building has been significantly altered from its original condition, and the facade that is there today is not considered historic according to the time frame in which our historic district was created. So its significance is not relevant to our historic district. It could be argued that the facade as is with the blue and the tile has some historic integrity, if you wanted to take that view of it. But we took the perspective of helping drive the process of fitting more within the guidelines of the historic timeframe of our downtown, which is why they went with the brick veneer instead of the existing mosaic tile. They also had a pitch roof on the first draft, which we asked to shift to a flat roof because that'd be more appropriate for a warehouse-style building within the timeframe of the historic district in Sandusky. So just want to add those. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners?
I've got a couple questions,
Sure.
if that's all right. Just to clarify, the big chimney on the back, on the second floor plan, it says it's going to be removed and reuse the brick, but on the elevations, it's still staying. Is that chimney staying or going? It's going to stay, okay. Which I think is good. I mean, it's not obviously an
Yeah.
architectural feature. And then the other, I guess, comment I had was on the south elevation, I guess, and the rear, let's go to the rear elevation, that little window down on the lower right, is that not to have the industrial mutton bars and,
All the windows would match.
okay, so that one should have the little mutton bars in it then that match the other industrial windows? Okay. And then on that same elevation, there's a big window at the end of that second floor hallway. Is that correct? And is this not shown in the elevation?
I think that it doesn't show there because it's actually on the other side.
Oh, the side, this one?
Okay.
Are you referring to the roof access?
I see what you mean, Dan.
Oh, it's,
I think you're right. I think there's a door or some sort of window that provides roof access on the internal. If you look at the internal,
okay, right. On the internal, there's a window in that stairwell. I just don't see it on the back
Yeah.
elevation. But it'd be nice to have a window there. Obviously, that long hallway would be nice to have a
you want
window.
to,
Here, I can flip.
John, do you want to clarify, or you're welcome to come up here and clarify if you wish?
Ken?
We'll just need your name and address for the purposes of the application, please.
John Fike, 224 East Water Street, the architect for the project. And we had proposed I guess, our initial thoughts were the easy way out. And then with Adam's help and Aaron, we met on site and they beat us up pretty good. And so we agreed to make some really fundamental changes to get where we are. As far as the elevations go, there may be, when we made a change order, we may have missed a window or two, but it was probably because we had gone from a small Anderson-style windows to something that's more commercial, industrial looking. So it was, if there's a window in the floor plan, it'll be in the elevation. So, and they will match the sizes of, so we went to a universal size big window and a universal size small window, so everything's very similar. Oh, I will, just real quick, history of the building was built in 1914. The original front part of the building was 2 stories. Then it was 1 story in between, and the back was 2 stories again. And it was originally Beilstein Cleaner. They were there for a long time, and when they vacated, they had done the remodeling and put that really gorgeous looking canopy on the front. It was an architectural style of the time. I think it was in the late 50s. I don't have a good date on it. But they want to keep it because as the transient people come, they'll come to the front door, unload, and then they'll go in the back and park. So the siding that we picked, it's called an Everlast. It's a vinyl siding, but it's actually not vinyl, it's a composite. Dan's probably familiar with it. It's a real heavy siding. It doesn't oil can. It's got a lifetime guarantee on the color for not fading. It's a product we use on a lot of the houses that we do over in Lakeside. The Lakeside Design Review has accepted it, where they do not allow vinyl siding. This is one siding they do. So it's a product we really like. So.
Thank you.
Comments? Just for really my education, I know the guidelines sort of say not to fill it in with brick, but in a case like this, where this building's certainly not gonna go back to its original use or is unlikely to, where would we be on if the, you know, if the owner wanted to put brick in there?
I'd take the perspective that it's better to be able to leave it able for somebody else to fill that whole opening with a window
Yeah.
in the future again. But I'm just one
Okay.
interpreter of the guidelines.
Was there any desire on the part of your client to?
I personally looked at it originally, but, brick are hard to match that are that old. And the difference in colors down that side, it's like, which one do you match? I can get a red brick that matches some of the red, but then there's some really light color brick there that I can't. So I'd be buying boatloads of brick, just trying to fill them in and make it look right, just to fill a couple window openings in, and it just didn't seem practical.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Would it be, can I ask a question? Would it be comparable to do like the brick veneer that you're doing on the front as the siding instead of the siding, or that'd be a big cost difference?
Quite a big cost difference. The siding's not cheap, but
Yeah.
the brick is more.
Okay. Anything else from commissioners? No? I don't know, maybe, do you want to say anything? You're not required to, you can if you would like to, it's entirely up to you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Frick, appreciate it. Okay, any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion on this particular recommendation. Just to note, staff are proposing a acceptance or a issuing of the granting of the certificate of appropriateness for the proposed work with the usual conditions. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve with staff's recommendation?
Second?
Am I allowed to second?
This one you remember.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Is there any further discussion? If not, Clerk, Quinn, will you please call the roll?
Jeff Crable,
Yes.
Elliot Dyer,
Yes.
Daniel Frederick,
Yes.
Alan Griffiths,
Yes.
John Felter.
Yes.
Okay, motion is approved. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Looking forward to seeing this project come to be. Very exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome, thank you. Let's see, Aaron, do we have any other business? If
Not
not, can I have a
on
motion
my
to adjourn, please?
So moved. Second.
You're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.